Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Let's go ahead and put the chat overlay up. I feel like the camera is better than it's been in a while. I put the chat overlay up. It's over here. As you're coming in, please tell me your name, where you're joining me from. I got a lot to share with you guys today, and so I want to make sure that we stay on time. We are good to go. And a couple of things. First thing, so I have a new text messaging service. So some of you are going to be getting the text before I go live. Some of you might not get it until a couple of hours after. I would recommend that if you are subscribed on YouTube, you just hit the bell for notifications so that way you know when I'm live, or it's every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Okay, it's on the same time, same place. Super excited to see you here today. Okay, cool. Let me go into quick intro so we can jump in because I've got 12 ways for you to market your services today, and I'm super excited to share it. And then I got some other things I want to share with y'all too that I'm very, very, very excited about. So if this is your first time joining me, once again, please tell me your name, where you are joining me from. If you've never met me before, my name is LaTisha Styles. I'm a mentor for high achievers. I'm known for creating 6 and 7 figure earners by helping clients to identify and dissolve the subconscious blocks that are preventing them from reaching their full potential. My clients are known for using my strategies to generate 18K in 2 weeks, 10K in 10 days, and 95K in 12 months, among other results. And that is why you are here today, right? To get on the path to getting some of those results for yourself. I broadcast every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I pack a lot of value in these trainings. And as with all things valuable, there is a price. So if you can join me live, you get to soak up all this goodness for free. Afterwards, it's going to go into the YouTube membership vault, which is $2.99 a month. You can sign up, watch 2+ years of archives. And I think I started broadcasting every week in May of 2020. So we've got from 2020 to 2021, 2021 to 2022, and now we're at the end of 2022. So it's like 2.5 years of content, all about helping you to improve your mindset, improve your money, grow your business, marketing methods, lots of good stuff. One of the most popular topics was how to create a content marketing strategy. That's a really, really good one. You definitely want to sign up at least and watch that one. Okay. Okay, cool. If you'd like to get notifications when I go live, subscribe and click the bell. If you're on my text list, then you'll get a text when I'm live. You also get access to secret flash sales and special offers. Yes, it pays to be a buyer. If you're outside of the US, just go to latisha.tv/free and download any of my free trainings, guides, or PDFs, and you're in there like swimwear. I believe you can create your life, but first you have to decide, because your dreams deserve your decision and you deserve to achieve your dreams, but only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get them. So with that said, let's hop into today's topic. All right, I'm getting a little bit better at this control center vibe. Today we're covering 12 free marketing strategies to grow your coaching business. What's going on? Dr. Parker, thanks for joining us from DC. Colette is here from Cali. And the Pure Energy Queen is here from Atlanta. This looks familiar. I can't see your avatar. That's the only thing that with YouTube that is a little bit frustrating, is that a lot of times we have handles and I don't know, I'm not familiar with everyone's business name. Then I'll see your face. I'm like, oh, you look familiar. I know that I probably know your name. I feel like in general on Facebook, like we use our actual name. I've been using my handle a lot more. But one thing that I have been researching that I want to chat about before we kind of jump into today's topic, which actually ties into the topic, is everything that is coming with like the whole Web3 phase. So the reason that I even started going down this rabbit hole is I started researching for my presentation. So the presentation I did last week, which was the 6 simple steps to 6 figures. I talked about Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and then I started doing a little bit of research into Web 3.0. And I've just been kind of going down this rabbit hole. And I'm really, really excited about some of the things that I'm going to start applying for myself and my business. and sharing those with you guys. So if you'd like to kind of stay updated with a lot of the things that I've been seeing, things that I've been learning, you definitely want to join us inside of the Profit Creator community. It's LaTisha.tv/group. It's absolutely free. If you come in and join, I'm going to be sharing a lot of the stuff in there as we go. And I'm getting really excited. I'm going down the engineering rabbit hole. So if there's any engineers in the group, we're going to be chatting. Super excited about that. Okay, cool. So I have here 12 ways to market your coaching business. What's going on, Lusaka from Zambia, Africa? Glad to have you here. Going international over here. 12 free marketing strategies. I have a love dislike relationship with free marketing strategies. I think they're great, especially when you're just getting started. It's something where, it doesn't cost you any money, but there's always a trade-off. When something doesn't cost you money, it's likely going to cost you time. And you have to keep that in mind when you're building a business and you're trying to get something off the ground. Do I want to spend the money or do I want to spend the time? In some cases, if you have the money, you'll save yourself a lot of time. But if you don't have the money, then you're going to end up spending a lot of time. And I feel like there's also like a good balance you could get to if you had at least a little bit of money that will help you speed things up just a little bit. So as I share these 12 free marketing strategies, I want you to also keep in mind that these are things that you can pair with a little bit of money, a little bit of maybe automation, maybe a little bit of delegation, hiring a couple of these things out so that you can really leverage yourself and leverage your time. Absolutely, there is a trade-off. Cool. Yeah, Stacy, that's what I noticed. Like, I know your In Touch Holistic handle, and so that one was new for me. Cool. Absolutely, there is always a trade-off. Okay, so let's go into. I'm looking. If you see me looking over here, it's because this is where I have my notes. Let's go into the first way that you can grow your marketing and free ways to market your business. The first way is just requesting referrals from current clients. So if you need a fast way to market your business that's absolutely free, do this. You can go to your current clients and request referrals. This is such a simple thing to do, and I feel like a lot of people overlook it because it's so simple. And also, I also feel like people are scared of rejection when it comes to asking someone for something. But if you want a free marketing strategy where you don't have to spend money, then you're probably going to be asking someone for something in exchange for really not like no money, right? In exchange for nothing. And the reason that this works really well is if you've already started working with clients and you're starting to help them get some results, they feel really good about working with you, then they're going to be more likely to want to help you out as well. And that means that they're willing to refer you to potential clients. What you want to make sure you do with this is you want to make sure that you're very clear on your ideal client. If you just go to an existing client and say, hey, do you have anyone that you can refer to me? They might not understand or know who your ideal client is. And so they'll say, let me think about it. What you want to do instead is you want to get really specific and say, I'm looking for someone who X. I'm looking for someone who, and then describe them out, right? One really cool way that I saw a company do this is as you logged in to submit a question for a coaching call, they would have a form. And then when you submit your question on the form at the very end, after you submitted your question, the very end said, do you know anyone who needs XYZ? And then they would describe their business and describe what they do, which you already know because you're in the coaching program, but it was just a little reminder. Like, who do you know that needs help creating an email list, for example? And then you would type their name in and submit it. And their contact information, like maybe an email address or something like that. And then from there, that company would go and they would reach out to that person and say, hey, so-and-so told us we should reach out to you because you need an email list or, whatever the thing is you help clients with. And would you like to have a conversation? So that's a good way to just start marketing your business, but it does require that you have clients already. So let's move on to the second way. And as I'm going through these, if anything starts triggering your mind where you're thinking like, oh, this might be a good option, or she hasn't mentioned this, please feel free, drop it in the comments. Let's get some collaboration going as well. What's going on, LaTisha? Paula, glad to have you here. All right, next. Okay. If I were a coach with at least a $3,000 a month marketing budget, which is $100 per day, this is what I would do in order to start getting more clients. And honestly, no one's doing this stuff right now. What that looks like is offering free consultations to your list, to the people that are already in your audience, the people who are already paying attention, but not just to your email list, to your list of buyers. And the reason I say that no one's really doing this is a lot of times people will say, okay, I've got, such and such number of consultations open. Who wants to hop on the phone and, have a call? But the problem with this is that the person who gets on the phone, they haven't necessarily raised their hand and identified as someone who is interested in what you have to offer and interested in your topic and identified themselves as someone who needs help. So the reason that you offer the free consultations to your list of buyers is they've already crossed that very first hurdle and they've already said, yes, this is something that I need. This is something that I want. And I would like your help with it. Or they might not necessarily identify with you in particular yet, but because they've already made a purchase, they're that much more likely to convert the very next time you have a conversation and potentially have a conversion. Okay. So if you don't have a list of buyers, okay, so here's what you do if you don't have a list of buyers. If you don't have a list of buyers, you start creating a list of buyers. Create a workshop or something small that is high impact. The way I like doing this is I like figuring out what's the number one question, like the burning question that my ideal client has. And then I'll create a workshop around that question. And it's something that's very specific. And that workshop I'll sell for a low ticket price. So this is something that you might sell under $100, under $50. Really, I really like that, like $20 to $30 sweet spot. And after you sell that workshop, now you have buyers. You have a list of potential buyers. Where do you get those buyers? Once again, if I had a $3,000 a month marketing budget, I would put some money behind some ads to start bringing people into that workshop. As soon as someone signs up for the workshop, the very first thing I would do is send a message, a text message, a voicemail message, and invite them to schedule a call. And this is not even something that I would do or that I would recommend that you do. This is exactly what I did. If you watch the training that I did where I mentioned how I turned $27 into $156,506, I think that's the exact number. If you watch that training, I lay all of this out. This is inside of the YouTube member vault. So if you want to go, once again, you click join, become a member, and you'll be able to see all these live streams that I did. So when I did that training, I broke down exactly how I took a $27 product and I turned it into 6 figures of income. And the way that I did that was this exact way. I sold a $27 product, and then on the back of the $27 product, I offered a consultation call to the buyers only, not just to anyone who signs up for free, but just the people who bought. I offered a consultation call. And there were a couple of different ways that I did this, which I explained in the training. But essentially what happened was that turned into buyers for my high ticket coaching program, of which it was a $5,000 offer. I had a couple options, a $5K offer, I had a $7K offer, and a $10K offer. And all of those came on the back of just a $27 product. So if you haven't tried this already, if you haven't done this already, this is 100% what I recommend. And it's what I help clients set up inside of the Path to 6 Figures. Okay. Good. What's going on, Zan the Man? Glad to have you here. So once you do this, you have an email list, you have buyers, you have leads, and you have potential clients for your coaching programs. You're welcome. All right, we're ready for number 3. We getting value so far? I hope so. All right. All right. Number 3 of the 12 ways that you can market your coaching business for free, or really any business for free. Okay. In this, I will say this is the number one way you are losing money on all those networking events that you go to and you spend money to go to. The number one way you're losing money is by not actually following up with the people that you meet at these networking events. When you meet someone at a networking event, there's a specific process that you should use in order to really leverage and get the most out of this event. Sometimes you go to free networking events and that's fine, but I'm talking about like events where you really could get a good ROI. This means conferences, very targeted local events, places that you go where you know your ideal client is likely hanging out. When you go to these events, the conversations that you have, you need to make sure that you have some sort of follow-up process in place. The follow-up process in place that I did, and what I recommend that you do as well, is get their contact information. Some people are going to want to give you a digital business card. That's fine. If they do that, you need to write some sort of note for yourself. What I prefer physical business cards. When I go to networking events, I'll pass them out. I love receiving them from other people because why? What do I do with these? On the back of the business card, I take out my pen and I write a little short note. This is what we talked about. This is why I need to follow up with them. This is part of the conversation we had. If I just get a digital business card, then I have to make my own note and I'll just, open up my phone and just write that in the notes app. What I find, the reason that people are not doing this is because they don't understand this process that the fortune is in the follow-up. That's actually a really good shirt idea. I just started creating, I'm going deeper into the world of apparel and I really want to create some really cool apparel for us, like some shirts. We've got the mug already, right? I create my own version of a lavish life. We have the mug, but I feel like we also need shirts, hoodies, all sorts of stuff. And so I feel like I need to have a shirt that says the fortunes in the follow-up, because it really is. Once you have your business cards from other people, not your own business cards, but once you have these business cards from other people, you have your note on the back of them that says, this is what we chatted about and this is what I need to follow up with them about. You send a follow-up email. This email can be very, very simple. It's as simple as, hello, name. It was great to meet you at event. During the event, we had a chance to chat about X, right? What's on the back of the card. I would love to have a quick 15-minute coffee chat with you. We can do this virtually over, Zoom or whatever you want to do it on. I'd love to have a quick 15-minute coffee chat with you. Do you know anyone who needs Y? Y being your thing, what you do. If so, I would love the referral. Just be sincere about it and be straightforward about it. You don't have to beat around the bush. You don't have to say, oh, I need to invest more time with this person before they're willing to refer me out. No, like that's the point of going to a networking event, going to a conference, is to either work with the people that are there or get referrals from the people that you're going there for. And obviously you can provide that value as well. It's always going to be a give and take. But the point is that if you're going to pay for these events, you need to be getting out of these events what you're paying for. So I guess technically this is not a free marketing strategy because you paid for the event, but doing the activity doesn't cost you anything except for your time. Good. All right, cool. All right, this is number 4. Number 4, I feel like, is very simple and straightforward, and I still feel like a lot of people are not doing it. And this is connecting with your ideal clients on LinkedIn. Now, the reason I suggest connecting with them on LinkedIn versus connecting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn is considered the professional platform. People, when they have, I don't know if you've ever seen that little square meme where it's like, this is me on Facebook, this is me on Instagram, this is me on TikTok, and then this is me on LinkedIn, or however it goes. It's like a box of 4 things. And like the LinkedIn photo is always the buttoned up professional photo. Why? Because that's generally speaking what people use LinkedIn for, is professional connections. So I would suggest not just connecting with people that you know, but also seeking out who might be my ideal client, and literally just clicking that connect and making a connection. Now, obviously, this strategy will go a lot further. You'll get a lot more bang for your buck if you're actually using LinkedIn as a platform. If you're creating content, putting content out there, interacting with people, you have to be sort of a live person on LinkedIn. But if you are doing that already, like, why not start maximizing this platform and actually connecting with people? Now, I guess for A would be connect with your ideal client on Facebook. I feel like Facebook is not as good of a platform like LinkedIn. Like, I don't really like when people use Facebook as okay, let me just add you as a friend because I potentially want to sell you something. And I think the reason is Facebook was created and designed for friendships. This is like someone that you know in person or someone that you've connected with or someone you want to develop a friendship with, versus LinkedIn is kind of like, okay, I want you to connect with this person because you are like, you're interested in similar things, but you might not necessarily want to see pictures of, my kids, for example. And that's could just be my personal opinion, but that's like the dividing line that I see between those. So you might feel the same way. And if you do, that's why I recommend LinkedIn over connecting with someone that you want to become a client on, like Facebook or some of these other platforms. Okay. What's going on, Adrian? Glad to have you here. Okay, cool. Good. I'm glad you caught me live today as well. All right, cool. So that's number 4. Number 5, this is 2 different places. So the fifth free marketing strategy, and this was one that was very, very popular, but I find that this strategy is very time intensive, and that's answering questions in LinkedIn groups or Facebook groups. Okay. So this is how you work smarter, not harder, when it comes to growing your business. I'm sorry, new content ideas. So this is how you work smarter, not harder, when it comes to new content ideas. Someone might ask a question inside of a Facebook group or inside of a LinkedIn group. The very first thing that a lot of people will do is they'll respond to that question and then they'll say something sleazy like, is it okay if I DM you? Which the person is just like, no, I just asked the question. I want the answer here. Like, why do we have to go to a private room? So think about it like that. Imagine if you were in a room with everyone and someone asked a question and you're like, okay, I'm going to answer you, but it's okay if we go in this closet so I can answer you. It's like, no, not really. So here's how you do it and actually do it the right way, in my opinion. You answer the question directly on there, but don't give them a full book. Give them a, general answer. So if someone says, does anybody know how to, for example, create a content strategy? And if that's your specialty, you might reply back with, here's my process for creating a content strategy. First, I'll do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do that. So simple sentence, right? Quick sentence, maybe 2 or 3 sentences. Then from there, create your own piece of content, a video or reel or whatever it is, like a short form piece of content where you're fully answering the question and you're diving in deep. Not a whole live stream, not a 1-hour live stream, but just a real concise 1 minute, 2 minute at most piece of content where you're answering the question fully. Then you can go back under the response that you put in there and tag them again and say, hey, I hope that this answered your question. But if not, I also went a little bit deeper and I created like a short 1-minute video. If you want to check it out, I've posted it here. And that's where you link to your own personal profile. So now not only do you have a great piece of content that everyone else is going to benefit from, you've got an answer to their question where they see you as helpful. You did not have to DM them and like pull them into this private closet. And when anybody else reads that question, if they also have the same question, they're going to come over to your page, to your world, where now you can say, this is what I do, and this is how I share, and this is how I help people. And obviously, you want your profiles to be optimized. So this is if you're posting it in a LinkedIn group, this is your LinkedIn profile needs to be optimized. If you're posting it in a Facebook group, your Facebook profile needs to be optimized. But this is how you help people without being sleazy and without them feeling like you don't have anything better to do than just like pull them into a private closet. Okay. Um, yeah, no more private closets. Okay. Good. Okay. You guys are rocking with me and that's great. I love it. So we're halfway there. This next one I really like. I actually didn't do this when I moved to Atlanta. And it's going to depend on your area and what's most active. But the sixth thing I have is joining a local, and I say local NAWBO group, which is National Association of Women Business Owners. But obviously, if you're a male, this might not apply to you. Well, it wouldn't apply to you. But there are other networking groups. So I would say like join a local networking group and look for the one that's most active. The reason I put on here join a local NAWBO group is when I was in Memphis, the Memphis NAWBO chapter was very active. I went there because I was looking to connect with other business owners, and I just happened to go to one of the meetings. I noticed that they were very clear in like what you should expect to get out of it. There was a membership, but part of the membership was now you have an opportunity to basically be in front of the community. There's some members that are paying members, there's other people who just come to these meetings. They had every single month they had a themed meeting, like a themed meetup, and they would bring in experts, they would bring in, people that were local business owners, and you could also be one of those people that was up in front. And it wasn't designed to be like a business for business networking group like some of these are. And I think BNI is a good example of it's literally a business for business type of group where you join a local BNI network, give people your business card. And I remember I sat down with someone who was in BNI. So let me tell you my BNI story. I once sat down with someone who was a member of a local BNI chapter. They literally had this book. So we sat down. They had not this book, but they had a book that had little inserts in it. And each insert had a different business card. And as we were going through, she just handed me the book and she was like, go ahead and flip through these and see if there's anyone, like any services that you might need. And I remember thinking, okay. So I started flipping through the book and it was like, this person does hardware installs, this person does, whatever, taxes. And I gave her the book back and I was like, no, there's nothing in there that I need right now. She's like, well, don't you guys own a home? Like, do you need someone to, come and do your windows? I was like, no. So I don't have a problem with that strategy or like the whole BNI system. But just for me, I personally preferred NAWBO because it wasn't designed to, okay, let's just do business for business. It was actually designed as a true networking group where you can meet people who are other business owners, other women business owners, and you can connect with them and, potentially collaborate or just, make new friends or whatever it is. And I really like that idea of it. So I would say join your local business networking chapter, whatever that might be for you. I recommend looking into NAWBO at first. Okay. All right, cool. Seventh free way. This is one of my favorite ways. This is actually how I jump started my coaching business, and it's participating in or creating a joint webinar. Creating a joint webinar looks like this. You've got to make friends and connect with people who are very similar in sharing what you share. So for example, if you know that you do personal finance for women professionals, you might find someone who teaches who teaches investing for women professionals. That would be like aligned communities. And then you guys could do a joint webinar, which is like how to budget and invest for women professionals, something like that. They're going to email their list so that list can come to that webinar. You're going to email your list. Even if you don't have much of a list, that's fine. It's going to depend on who you connect with. Some people might say like, oh, how many people do you have on your list? But I really doubt it. That's not what happened with me. And then once you have that joint session, at the end of it, you offer something, they offer something. Now you've got new people on your email list. So the way that this happened for me is when I was first starting my coaching business, I had first started with a blog, right? So I just had like a personal finance blog, and the people that were on that email list were interested in personal finances. They weren't necessarily interested in the next thing that I was doing, which was I wanted to talk about growing a business. So I connected with a friend who is someone that I knew in person. We had met at a conference. We stayed in touch. And I asked, hey, I'm interested in doing like a joint webinar. She was selling a course, like a short workshop. She was like, okay, great. Let's do this topic. I'm going to sell my course at the end, and then you can offer coaching sessions. So I said, okay, sounds good. We did that webinar. She emailed her list. I didn't really have a list, but I emailed the people that I did have, which was very few. That as soon as she emailed her list, I got 300 people added to my email list because it was like a joint, right? It's a joint webinar. And I went from having a handful of people on my list to now all of a sudden having 300 people on my list. And that weekend, I realized the power of just doing these joint collaborations. I need to do more of them, but that's going to involve me sort of getting a little bit more out of my shell. After we did that joint collaboration, we did the webinar. She pitched her program at the end, and then I offered a phone call. So I was like, if you'd like to get on my calendar, you're going to be able to maximize the use of this program that you're purchasing. I think it was if they bought the program, they also got a call with me. And I got 4 calls scheduled. I converted 3 of those people into my first coaching program, which was $800 for an 8-week program. And the rest is history. Once I realized that, oh, I can just have a conversation with people and then convert into clients, that's when I started going down the rabbit hole of like, okay, how do I get better at this, et cetera, et cetera. But it all started from that very first joint webinar, it was free. It was just a conversation like, hey, would you be interested in doing a joint webinar? All right, cool. All right, number 8. I think we're going to do, Zan, we're going to do like a full session on the email ad stuff. I want to, it's likely not going to be till the start of the year because I want to do a whole series on email. So email, like sending email broadcasts, like building your email list, things like that. And then talking about email ads, newsletter ads, things like that. So we'll talk more about that then. This mic always does this, like flips down. All right. I got to keep an eye on that one. Okay, cool. Let's go into, oh, I'm doing great on time. Number 8. All right. Do you want to double your money without spending anything on ads? This is how you do it. And I think that's a little bit interesting. Like, do you want to double your money even though you haven't spent any money on ads? But honestly, this is how you do it. Schedule 15-minute coffee chats with potential referral partners. A couple of months ago, I had a referral partner reach out to me. They said, hey, I'd love to get on a quick 15-minute call. Seems like we have audiences that align, a little bit synergistic. I would love to learn more about what you're doing, tell you a little bit about what we're doing, and seeing there's collaboration opportunities. So I checked them out. They were legit. 80 to 90% of the time, I say no to like cold email stuff that comes in. But this one, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? We got on the phone. We had a conversation. We agreed to do a reciprocal email. I was going to email my list about their thing. They were going to email their list about my thing. We did that. In one weekend, they were able to generate $1,000 from sending people from their list to purchase my thing. When they did that, I also got email subscribers, and some people not only bought the initial thing, which I had to pay out an affiliate fee, but they also bought other things. I generated new buyers, and there was just a lot of power in this. And once again, this is like doubling your money without spending any money on ads. I didn't have to spend any money on ads. It was just me connecting with someone. Now, notice that as I'm going, some of these strategies are starting to get a little bit more difficult because it's requiring not only you, but it's requiring you connected with other people. And the name of the game is honestly, who can I connect with that has what I need? And that's it. Okay. That's the name of the game. It's the name of the game for you, and for other people, they need to know who can I connect with that has what I need. And when you find someone where, you guys have that synergy and you can exchange value for each other, it's really powerful. Now, this is not like the joint webinar because it doesn't require as much output, right? So you don't have to actually put out, okay, let's create a whole piece of content, but it does require you having like scheduling time on your calendar. So you're going to schedule these 15-minute coffee chats, figure out who can potentially be a good referral partner. Once you figure that out, okay, let's set them up with our affiliate program. Here's the link. Here's your affiliate program link. Would you mind emailing out for me? If you don't know how to do this already, I highly, highly, highly recommend ThriveCart. ThriveCart is the shopping cart that I use. The reason that I use this shopping cart, one of the reasons, you can create an affiliate program where people can email their list or they can share a link to your free stuff. They don't even have to be good at sales. All they have to do is say, would you like to sign up for LaTisha's XYZ thing? It's free. Then you have your own funnels. And when someone signs up for the free thing, they get, that person gets tagged as they were referred by this other person. And then from there, if they buy something, that person will get a percentage based on what you set up in your affiliate program. But notice that they didn't have to say, hey, she's selling this thing, go buy it. All they had to say was, would you like this free XYZ thing? All of that you can do inside of ThriveCart. It's very, very easy, very simple, and very straightforward. I don't know if we have a tools day on affiliate stuff, but I can definitely do one if that's something you guys are interested in, because it's ridiculously straightforward and simple. And I actually need to set that up for, I'm creating a referral program for you guys, for the profit creator community, so that if you want to refer someone, you actually will get credit for it. And so everyone can benefit from everything that we got going on. All right. 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 4 more. This next one is, it's very involved. Okay. All right. The 9th way that you can use a free marketing strategy is you can host an online summit. Online summits, they got really popular for a while because there was someone who was teaching how to host an online summit. So there was one year, I think I got like 4 or 5 requests to participate in an online summit. An online summit is basically like a marathon podcast or marathon video session. You look for 20 or 30 participants. Each of those participants, you're going to record a session with them, some sort of training or teaching. After that session, they can offer, a free thing or whatever it is, doesn't matter. You create a page that's like, here are all the people participating in my summit. It's like an online conference. And then you email that out to your list. Everyone who participates is supposed to email out to their list. The reason this works so well, as far as helping you to get marketing and not just participating in one, but actually hosting one. When you host the summit, you are you're like the curious observer. So you're the person who's going to be asking the questions in each of these interviews. And yes, like your list is going to, potentially see some of these people that you're interviewing and be interested in them. But what's even more cool is that now you've got 30 other people, 20 or 30 other people that are going to be essentially pushing people back to your email list and telling their list about you. And so this puts you in a position of authority without you having to say, I'm in a position of authority. It's like you're the one that brought all these people together. So what's really cool about this is it's like doing the joint webinar, but with 30 different people, and they're all emailing their list to send people back to you. The reason that this is very involved is because like not only do you have to reach out and actually get people involved. So if you're going to get 30 locked in, you're probably going to have to speak to at least 100 or 150. And then once you get these people locked in and involved, well, now you got to schedule all of the interviews. You got to make sure they're edited. You got to have the summit page. You might have upsells and all these things. Like it's a big project. I've done a summit twice. The first time I brought 4 people on, and the second time I brought 5 people on because I was doing everything myself and it was just very, very involved. If I were to do it again, I would absolutely hire someone to handle all of the logistics of it all, so that all I had to do was look at my calendar and show up for those individual interviews. But it's absolutely a great way to get people involved. All right, cool. I need to move a little bit quicker because I just realized I didn't delete stuff from my SD card and I've got 6 minutes of content left. All right, so yeah, live summit is a lot. It's a lot of work. It's just, but it's worth it if you can do it right. All right, number 10. So here's a tip from a coach who sells offers only priced at $10,000 or higher. This is hosting podcast interviews with ideal clients. I had a conversation with a friend from a conference that I've been to, and I asked him, like, what's your process? How do you get clients? And he said, well, I have a podcast and I basically cherry pick the people that I want on my podcast. And those people are people that I want as a client. And this just blew my mind. I'm like, oh, this is so genius. He figures out who's that, 1 to 2% person that he wants as a client. Then he brings them on his podcast. They have opportunity to talk about what they do, who they do it for, et cetera, et cetera. And then at the end of the conversation, now he has a new connection, and then he can upsell them essentially into a phone call. So, a consultation call where he can talk about, well, this is what we do, et cetera, et cetera. So not only is he gets an opportunity to be a curious observer as the podcast interviewer, but he has the opportunity to convert those people into clients. Now, the reason that I say that this one is a little bit more difficult, a little bit more involved, is because it requires you to figure out who those ideal clients are, to like start cherry picking those people and reaching out to them, getting them to say yes, especially if your offer is like that 10K or higher offer. All of his clients were like executives. I think he was doing some sort of executive program, and a podcast. So for those of you who do have an offer where you're looking for a busy executive or, busy professionals, something like that, or advanced entrepreneurs, a podcast would likely be a really good thing for you to have. And then just start interviewing the people that you want as clients. Sound good? Yeah. Super genius. I agree. All right, let me delete some stuff and we'll come back to it because I don't want to rush. I've got a couple things that I want to do. Okay. Sorry, I'm just deleting this old content, which I'm pretty sure I put on the computer. Okay, cool. Now I got 45 minutes left. Carolyn says, I never thought about using my podcast that way. Oh, absolutely. And if you're looking for leaders who connect and inspire, 100%, that's exactly what you should be doing. And make sure I hit record. All right, cool. So now we're on to number 11. So we're in our last two. This is a free marketing strategy, and it's a little bit harder than the previous one, as each of these are starting to get, a little bit harder than the former one. And this is hosting an event at the Chamber of Commerce. This requires you to, number one, be a member of your local Chamber of Commerce. If you're not familiar with what a Chamber of Commerce is, it's your city, right? Your local entity, your city has a group of business owners, and it's called the Chamber of Commerce. So there's a Atlanta Chamber of Commerce. I'm just naming cities, right? There's a Dallas Chamber of Commerce. There's probably an Irving Chamber of Commerce. If you're in Texas, you're familiar with, Irving area, right? So there's different Chamber of Commerces, plural. And if you join and if you're a member, you can host an event. They provide a lot of resources for business owners. So I actually had a friend who did this. She's a colleague who did this. She hosted an event at the Chamber of Commerce for her marketing agency. She titled it like 3 things that business owners need to have, or something like that. Like the same type of topic that you would be doing on a live stream or inside, like just go for, if your ideal clients are at the Chamber of Commerce. And not only did she signed up, she had a really large Chamber of Commerce. She signed up several clients just from that one conversation. She also got referrals as well. So if you're already creating this type of content, why not put it out in front of people who could be your ideal client? If you join also like the networking event, so the networking group, so number 6, joining your local business group, this is also something you can do in front of your local business group. If they allow you to do a presentation, and it doesn't have to be a salesy, it doesn't have to be a sales presentation where at the end you encourage people to sign up for a call. All you have to do is provide value. So give them everything you got, describe it, give them, your best tips or whatever it is, and people will seek you out because you just presented yourself as an authoritative figure. Hey, Keisha. Okay, good. Wale says, what's the best way to start a podcast? I would find someone that you admire who does podcasting and figure out either if they have a course or if they have a mentor that they recommend, and I would go buy their course or work with them as a mentor. And that's how I would start my podcast. I haven't started a podcast, but I know Patrice, God, I don't know why I can't say her name right now. Patrice Washington, when she started a podcast, that's exactly what she did. And her podcast gets thousands of downloads now. She worked with, I know I'm like, his face is in my head right now, but I can't remember Vernon Ross. So Vernon Ross helped her launch her podcast. And I believe he still helps people. So that's what I would do. I would just go find the person who's done it and who teaches about it. Okay. Yeah, Chamber of Commerce is still a thing. All right, cool. We're on our last and final one, which is one of the most difficult, but obviously the most rewarding. And this is hosting your own event for your own ideal clients. Now, you could do this in a couple of levels. When I first did this, I hosted a retreat. So it wasn't necessarily like an event to convert people into coaching. But what happened was, because I was advertising about the retreat, I sold coaching packages that included the retreat. And that was the first year that I did it. And then the next year I was able to just sell the retreat by itself. However, if I were to do this as a way, like a free marketing strategy, which is kind of free because you're going to have to pay for the event, what I would do is I would host a local event. So it doesn't have to be at the Chamber of Commerce, right? This is your own event. And when I did this with a client, not a client, I did this with a friend. Actually, she did eventually become a client. But I did this with a friend that I had met in Memphis at the National Association of Women Business Owners. And we did an event called Brunch, Bubbly, and Biz. And we hosted it at, where did we host it? I was a member of a, what are those things called? Like a co-working place, but it wasn't like co-working. It was like a business style co-working place. It was actually really, really cool. Like a high rise. I was a member there. So I was able to reserve a room. I reserved a room there. We invited lots of people we sold tickets. So I think we ended up breaking even on the event. And then at the event, we were able to teach. So she took the first 30 to 40 minutes. She taught about customer experience. I took the next 30 to 40 minutes. I talked about how to market your business and how to get clients. And then at the end of it, I think there was one person that was there that she ended up becoming a client. And then there was other people that I connected with. So, and I will say that this is sort of a free marketing strategy because you're going to end up selling tickets. So you'll make some money. This is one that is, especially if you're really good in person and you're really good conversationalist, like you have to do this, especially now. People are getting more and more frustrated with only being online, with only meeting people in online forums. Like they want in-person interaction. We've gone from, 2020, stay at home, to like suddenly everyone's like, okay, I'm tired of being on Zoom. If there's one thing that I've heard consistently is like, I am so tired of signing into Zoom. So that means that there's a really big opportunity right now for in-person interaction. And if this is something that you can pull together and you have the energy and excitement for it, I absolutely highly, highly recommend it. All right, cool. Okay, good. Thank you guys for putting some suggestions in here. It's not hard to podcast. Just choose an app like Blueberry or Google Host and you start. Carolyn says, I used Anchor to start my podcast. It was easy. You can also start on Clubhouse. Like Clubhouse is an app where you literally could just start talking. So you can start on there. You can just start recording. But once again, if you want to shortcut your success, one of the best ways to shortcut your success is to work with someone who has already done it. You can get quick tips here and there from YouTube and from other people and suggestions. And you still might not know how to start because it's about pulling everything together. Well, how do you pull everything together? You work with someone who knows how to pull it all together. That's the exact reason why I created the Path to Six Figures, because there's a lot of information out there about how to grow your business so that you're making six figures. And at the same time, people have a piece here, a piece there, and they haven't pulled it all together. And so I'm like, okay, let's stop putting different pieces. Like, let's just go from start to finish. First, you need to do this, then you need to do this, and then you need to do that. And the benefit of that, the benefit of putting everything in place in the right way is that, once again, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, you'll save yourself a lot of energy, and you'll just end up spending a little bit of money in order to get back that time. Okay. Okay, cool. Was this helpful? I hope this was helpful. This is a snippet. Well, I guess I don't know if I'm going to turn this into a long form YouTube video, but just in case, I'm going to include this right now. So these tips that I shared are a snippet from a longer form training that I did, all about 12 free ways to market your business. If you'd like to check that out, make sure you become a channel member, click join, and all of the details are there. Join us in the Profit Creator community. You can go to LaTisha.tv/group. And if you would like more from me, make sure you go to LaTisha.tv/free. You'll be able to sign up for my free list. Until next time, make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye. All right, cool. I did my little outro. I've been going through, so I've got the 2 cameras set up like I showed you guys on Instagram. And what I've been doing is, this has just been so helpful. I really wish I would have started this when I first started doing the live streams. Is I've got the live stream camera, which actually doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good. But once it gets pushed through the internet, it comes out like still a little splotchy. So I've got the professional camera that's recording a local version. And what I've been doing is I've just been going through the videos and finding little clips that I can use for shorts, I can use for reels, I can use for like TikTok videos. I'll send those off to my editor. He'll add captions, like he'll clip them out, add captions. And essentially, I'm creating a content powerhouse with just one live stream that I'm doing once per week. And I've gotten so addicted to it that I'm like, maybe I should do another live stream, but then I don't feel like doing hair and makeup. Okay, conversation. There is technology that's going to allow me to not have to do my hair and makeup, but still be on camera as if my hair and makeup is done. And that's what I'm researching right now, which is why I'm getting so excited about the Web3 stuff, because this is all Web3. So if that's something you're interested in, once again, definitely join us in the Profit Creator community. As I start learning these things, I'm going to be bringing those out to you guys. So you definitely want to be in there. It's a great conversation. I'm telling you, like I've gone down the rabbit hole. So super excited. Okay, cool. If you do need an editor, someone to edit your stuff, I would recommend going to Upwork and type in the platforms. So I would type in Adobe Premiere Pro editor, or type in, what's the other one? Final Cut Pro. I would type in like Final Cut Pro editor. So the way that I found my video editor, I went on Upwork, I typed in Adobe Premiere editor, and then I asked for him to do some test clips. I was like, hey, can you edit this and make it look good, basically. So he edited those things and got it back to me. I was like, okay, great. We have good communication. I gave him some more test things, and we've been rocking together since I think like 2017 is when we first started working together. So for a while now. And I think Upwork is a really good place to find undervalued talent. Like the rate that he charges now is not the rate that he had on his profile when I first found him. So I think it's a really good way to find undervalued talent that you can start working with now, and like start growing with them as well. Okay, good. All right, awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me today. Once again, if this was inspiring for you or helpful for you, please be sure to share it out. And as I have more things, I'll be sharing those with you guys. I'm a huge nerd, and I found my new thing to nerd out on. So, how much do I pay for my editor? It's hourly, so it depends on how much editing that he does. Is that a good sidestep of that question? Love the thought of not having to do hair and makeup all the time, 100%. Because like I really like the hair and makeup is done. Like I'm looking in the camera, I really love like the hair and makeup that's done right now. But I'm not doing this every single day, even though it only takes me a couple minutes. It's more frustrating to like wash it all off and like take the lashes off and all that stuff. So the same way that we have filters on Instagram, where we can like go live and use the filter or whatever, or create a video with the filter, I'll be able to do that just by typing text out which is insane when you think about it. So go to my Twitter. If you go to my, I barely ever tweet. All of my tweets are automated because I have a YouTube video that goes live. Like I don't use Twitter at all. But if you go to my Twitter, I just tweeted today from one of these tools that I just found. And it literally created a tweet for me out of thin air. Like I just typed in my username and then it created like this long list of potential tweets. So let me read. I know this is kind of we got a couple minutes. This is kind of getting off. Here are the tweets that it suggested for me. I don't care if your clients are rich. I don't care if you make 20K a month. I don't care if you have a 10% growth rate. Don't chase opportunities. Be the hunter. There aren't enough good people doing what I do, so I'm going to do something about it. Like, as I was reading these tweets, I was like, wow, these are really opinionated. I don't know if they're quite me, but I kind of like them. Like, I like this girl. Maybe I need to be more like her. And it's funny because it generated it based on the conversations that I'm already having, like the tweets that I've already created, which once again are just automated. It's like, I'm talking about this topic. I'm talking about this topic. But I find it interesting that it can grab things that I've already created and then like rework it. And once again, Web3, super excited about it. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing a lot more about that as well. Okay, cool. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you'd like more videos, go to my YouTube channel at LaTisha Styles. Until next time, remember your dreams deserve your decision and you deserve to achieve your dreams, but only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get them. So go, dream, decide, do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.